friends. Today I'm going to do another episode of A Bit About Me. And for this video, I've decided to do a little bit about Mel's Exotics history and my history with reptiles. So I'm going to start way back when I was but a wee child. And living here in Manitoba, we would have trips to the Narcisse snake dens. And I've always loved animals, like all animals. And we would go to the Narcisse snake dens for a field trip with school. And I don't know if you know what the Narcisse snake dens are, but here in Manitoba we have the largest gathering of snakes in the world. And there's thousands upon thousands of snakes in each one of the dens. And in spring, you go there and they're all mating at the time. They're coming out from winter and it's mating season and they're just everywhere. And it is absolutely phenomenal to see. And they're also they're otherwise occupied, so they don't really care about people. So you can pick them up and handle them and everything. And they might musk you, but that's about it. So I would say that's probably one of my formative reptile loving experiences. And then we also had, I think it was Vern Rummel. Rummel's Reptiles would come to schools and do presentations with his reptiles, and he would have giant Burmese pythons and red-tailed boas, and I have a photo of tiny me with a big red-tailed boa over my shoulders. I'll add it here if I can. And God, you can tell in the photo that even then I was absolutely smitten with reptiles. Now, my mother, on the other hand, was not. And so when I would spend time trying to convince her that I wanted a reptile, no go. And it wasn't until kind of the internet became a thing, and then internet forums. And okay, so I must have seen the blue-tongued skink first. So there was a dental office that we went to, and right across from that was the Petland. So while my mom and my younger sisters were at the dentist, I would always be over at the Petland. And at one point they had this weird lizard in, and I just sat there and watched it, and I was so in love. And it was the blue-tongued skink. And I became obsessed. No one at the store would even handle the animal because it was wild caught and it was so aggressive. And I just loved watching it. It was the best thing ever to me. So yeah, I became obsessed and I started doing research, and I found a forum for blue-tongued skinks. It's bluetongueskinks.org if you want to find it. Still a fantastic forum. And I started doing research on blue-tongued skinks, and I really got into them. And my mom was like, no, you can't have them. And I'd be like, Mom, did you know about this? And Mom, and I was so just excited about them and telling her about all the different care requirements, and I got her into them. And so she became more and more interested in them. And eventually, I talked her into it, I guess. Although actually, I didn't get a blue-tongued skink first. When I was in middle school, I had an obsession with cows. So like the animal, cows. And I would plan my world conquest, taking over the world using cow armies. And at one point I was at this store here in Winnipeg called Bird Shop and Aquariums. And they had a black and white California king snake, and it had the words moo in its spots, in 2 spots. And to me, this was fate. This cow was meant, this snake was meant to be mine. And that's how I got Cow. I went and I talked to Mom, and she was already, kind of being swayed over to the reptile way. And I convinced her, and I got a snake for, I think, my birthday. And that was Cow, and I had her she passed away just this last year. So I got her as an adult, and I had her for many, many years. So had her for quite a few years, but I was still super into blue-tongued skinks. And so I think in 2006, my mom and I arranged to get a couple Tannenbaum blue tongue skinks, which was the ones I fell in love with the most. Tannenbaums were just, to me, the best blue tongue skink. I never met them, but I knew they were the best. And maybe it was 2006, 2007, because I went for pilot training out in Steinbach, Manitoba. And so I was in Steinbach, basically living there, learning to get my power pilot license. And that was through Air Cadets, by the way. Fantastic organization for younglings. And so I was there, and they had a pet store in town, and like in their little mall. And I went there, and what was at this pet store but a blue tongue skink? And I happened to be in town for 6 weeks, so their setup wasn't really great for it. And me being the nerdy know-it-all I am, I went and I told them all about how to look after blue tongue skinks. And to their credit, they updated the tank. Like, they fixed it. They took my suggestions, they listened, and they made it good for this skink. And I was absolutely in love. And so when I finished pilot training, I went to Mom and I was like, Mom, I know we're getting 2 Tannenbaums, and I've already started building the tanks for them, but I'm in love with this northern blue tongue skink. Can I have 3? And Mom, being soft-hearted and wonderful, decided to give in. And so we went and we picked up Price, aka Vincent Price. I don't exactly remember how we got the name. I just remember that one of my pilot friends and I were super into it. So yeah, I took Price home, and he was a northern blue tongue skink. He was already an adult, obviously captive bred, because northerns are, and he was just a delight. And like, I knew that I loved blue tongue skinks, and then I got one, and I love blue tongue skinks. And that was the start of my addiction. So 2006, my mom helped me import these 2 Tannenbaum blue tongue skinks. So they came from the States, from Andrew Syke. And he was wonderful. He helped me figure out which skinks, and like, I was this kid, and Tannenbaums aren't meant for most people, but I'd been around on the forums for many years, and I had established that I'd gone from being an idiot kid to a kid that actually knew some stuff. I will be clear, I started out as a very dumb kid. And yeah, now I knew all about blue tongue skinks, and I was set up for them, and I was ready to take home 2 Tannenbaum blue tongue skinks. And I got Walk It and Trix. So I still have those 2. My cow has passed away, and Price passed away several years back. But Walk It and Trix, they're still here with me now. And Tannenbaums, they're a totally different type of skink. I wouldn't recommend them for most people, but they are a true delight. And I was hooked. Like, this was the start of something big for me. So where to next? I think the next one I got was a rescue skink, Skidamarink. I don't remember where exactly I got him from. His name was also Skids. I don't know if you've heard the song Skidamarink-a-dinkity, Skidamarink-a-doo, I love you. And so that's where he got his name, Skidamarink, aka Skids. Yeah, he came to us as a rescue, and he had some serious issues. At one point, he had such bad mouth rot, it rotted through into his cheek, and he literally had a hole in his face. He came with a few other issues as well, and thankfully he was resilient. He pulled through, he managed it, and just kept getting stronger and stronger. Now, Mom had taught me how to import from the States. I think I got Jenga, a caramel northern. He also passed away this year. And I got him right around the start too. And he was sold as a female, and he'd basically been kept in a box in a closet for the longest time, and super, super aggressive. I have an old video of Jenga attacking things, and I will try and upload it right here. And hopefully that upload worked and you got to see Jenga doing death rolls, because he was just hyper aggressive. He would lunge and attack, and he thought everything needed to be killed. You would put a piece of wood in his tank and he would spend 30 minutes attacking it. So I went down to the States, and I'd had him with a friend down there that I met on the Blue Tongue Skink Forum. And she babysat him for a few weeks, and then I drove down with some friends and we picked up Jenga and brought him back over. So I brought a couple skinks now over the border, and I was getting good at it. So it was time to go big. And the problem here is I was still living with my parents, and I didn't tell them I was going big. I went out and I bought 14 blue tongue skinks, I think all from Andrew Syke. I bought some more tannin bars, I bought a ton of northerns. Some of them weren't just for me, I did buy a few for other people. But I remember bringing back 14 blue tongue skinks. And we went to the border and they're like, what do you have? And I'm like, blue tongue skinks, and I'm so excited about them, let me tell you. And they're like, just prove that it's a blue tongue skink in the bag. So I opened one of the bags and I pulled out a little skink, and it's like, I hate you. I, put that one away, closed the bag, went to get the next one, like, no, go away, get out, go back to Canada, you weirdo. And so that's how I got a ton of blue tongue skinks. And I still didn't tell my parents. I set up a little area. At the time I had a raised bed, just because of how my room was. So my bed was raised up, and you could kind of have like a crawl space, not a crawl space, but like a kneeling space underneath, and that's where I hung my clothes. Well, I set up some racks down there, and I had all my blue tongue skinks in there. And it wasn't the best setup, but it worked. It had lights on a timer and heat and everything, and I thought I was pretty darn smart. I was doing pretty good. And then I must have been 18 at the time, because I went and took a trip to Vancouver to visit a friend. And while I was away, my parents went down to my room, which was a partial basement room, split level house, kind of weird, to get some food from the freezer that was in the area. And they noticed the lights were on, and they were like, why are there lights on underneath your bed? And I got a phone call while I was out shopping with my friend, and they're like, so we found the skinks. I was like, oh no. Oh, I have screwed up royally. So they knew about 4 skinks, and at the time I think I had 20. It was, thankfully they did forgive me. We are on talking terms again, but I was in the doghouse for a while. I was not the most popular person, And that was, I guess, the start of Mel's Exotics. So we're gonna call that part 1, and I think we're gonna leave it there. And later on, I will do the next part will be kind of the growing stages of Mel's Exotics. So I hope you enjoyed this just a little bit about me and my company, what I've been, where I started. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you all are staying safe and sane, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.